This is the Transformers Studio Series from the movie Transformers Bumblebee. We have Deluxe Class Arcee. And boy, this figure came out great. What a sweet looking figure. Designed very nicely. It's got a ton of details. It just feels a little small. I had my doubts about this figure. I thought it was going to look disproportioned and all that. But given the fact that most of the Autobots in this wave have been in the small size, small scaled version of Deluxe class figures, I'm pretty okay with this one. I love how the colors came out. The color is coming out as more of a muted carnation pink, not a bright pink that we're so used to seeing with G1 Arcee. It's matched with this off-white color for the hands and the legs, and some dark gray pieces here and there. It's got an amazing head sculpt, and overall the design is absolutely spot on, very close to how we saw her those brief few seconds in the movie. This figure looks amazing. Let's begin with some comparisons. So this is what I was saying. She feels a little small compared to your standard Deluxe class figure. This is the 2007 Transformers, the movie, the first movie, Arcee. And Deluxe class figures were really big back then. This is your standard Generations Deluxe class Arcee figure. This is from Earthrise and Kingdom. And you can see she is still about 3 millimeters to 4 millimeters shorter than your standard Deluxe class figure. Now, proportion-wise, she looks okay. I was concerned that she might be a little too thick on the legs and the limbs, but it's actually all right. I was a little bit worried, but the proportions are really spot on. As far as the paint apps and the colors, I thought they turned out great. You got some glossy carnation pink right here. It's not as light of a pink as we're used to, but it still is Arcee's colors. I love the off-white, sort of a beige type of white plastic that they used for the legs, so it's not completely white and pink. This head sculpt actually is looking great. I think they did a wonderful job in sculpting it. Just very fine details for such a small head sculpt. It comes with 2 blaster pistols. You can plug the blaster pistols on her backpack like that on either end, but you don't have to. If you look at the rear part of the figure, there's this huge backpack. But if you've seen a lot of Arcee figures, the backpack is quite staple for any Arcee figure, and I'm actually quite fine with it. There's just nowhere to tab in these sort of thrusters, or I guess these are the fenders of the vehicle. There's no way to clamp them on. Luckily, the ball joints are actually pretty tight, so they just stay in that position. Articulation for the figure: the neck is on a ball joint, the waist is on a swivel, shoulders or the arms can go in and out and go forward and backward. You got a bicep swivel, you got double hinged elbows, wrists can go in and out because of transformation. The legs, the hips can go do a full side split, forward and backward split. You got a thigh swivel, hinge knees, and you got a rocker tilt for the ankles. Now, this is the best way I know to position the calves. This will make her stand up straight in a straight line. But if you want the legs a little bit more streamlined, there's nothing stopping you from plugging those calves back in. But you'll have to, she'll be sort of like leaning backwards. You'll have to just fold, make her crouch a little bit. But you'll have the legs streamlined, more streamlined actually, this way. Maybe when you're posing her like that, when she's like running, you can probably have the calves that way, but best way to keep her in a straight line, standing up, is like this, which is actually pretty cool. I'm liking the wheels as the heel spurs for this figure. It's giving me that animated Prowl vibe or Transformers Prime Arcee vibe, which is really, really nice. Transformation, it's a a little bit involved, but I was actually pretty impressed with the engineering they put into this figure, turning her into her alt mode. So to begin, put away the blasters. Let's start with the legs. Go ahead and fold the ankles. Lift up the feet, rotate, and then plug them back in. Close that back. Same thing on the other side. Pull up, rotate, plug back in, fold it up, and then the calves, and then plug line them up so that they plug together. You want to rotate 180 degrees that waist joint. You want to fold up the bicep, not on the lower joint, but the upper joint, like that. Same thing here. You want to unpeg that backpack like that. And here's where the magic happens. A lot of compression going on into this back kibble and that whole head and torso assembly. Okay, go ahead and fold out this entire section like this. Fold up the head. The head will just clear this section right here. And fold back like that. Fold the canopy or the windscreen. Fold it like this. And then these pegs right here, they're gonna tab onto those thighs, and that will secure that front part of the vehicle onto the legs. You want to do the torso itself, you want to plug it back in right here. Make sure the arms are properly aligned. These, I guess, the backpack, rest of the backpack, they are going to tab here. And then this peg right here is going to slot into that hole right there. So tab it in and just slot that in. Same thing here. Maybe you should slot the forearm first before tabbing on the leg, like that. The fists, they're gonna fold inwards like this. And then the guns, you're gonna put them on the rear end, maybe as rear cannons or as exhaust ports. That. And then just tidy up things. And there you go. There is Arcee in her Cybertronian, I guess, bike or chopper. It rolls very nicely. On the front wheels, these are the only ones that move. They actually don't move. I was surprised at how they did this. It was pretty neat, actually. The rear wheels only have these small wheels. The bike actually rolls pretty nicely. If you do everything properly, the wheels will roll smoothly. Very nice. I'm actually very, very impressed with this alt mode. You can see a lot of details going into this alt mode. I love the compression. I love that almost all the robot parts are very nicely incorporated into the alt mode. And for comparisons in vehicle mode, here are all three Arcees in their vehicle mode, and Bumblebee Arcee in her alt mode doesn't seem to be that small, actually. Still is small, but it's right there in terms of a deluxe class figure. And so some final thoughts on the Studio Series Bumblebee movie, Arcee. I thought it was pretty good. I was very impressed with the way this figure was designed. I love the engineering, the design, aesthetics of the robot mode, and even in the alt mode, I thought was a perfect rendition of how we saw this character in the movie. So just before we go, I wanted to show off Arcee together with Optimus Prime and the rest of the hobbits from the Bumblebee movie Studio Series line. She looks perfect with the rest of the Autobots. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this new Studio Series Bumblebee movie Deluxe Class Arcee. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. Oh, and before I forget, the figure is going to get a 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching.